Hello everyone, welcome to my lecture. Passive online attacks. A passive online attack is also known as a sniffing the password on a wired or wireless network. A passive attack is not detectable to the end user. The password is captured during the authentication process and can then be compared against a dictionary file or word list. User account passwords are commonly hashed or encrypted when sent on the network to prevent unauthorized access and use. If the password is protected by encryption or hashing, special tools is the hacker's toolkit can be used to break the algorithm. Another passive online attack is known as man in the middle. In a MITM attack, the hacker intercepts the authentication request and forwards it to the server by inserting a sniffer between the client and the server. The hacker is able to sniff both connections and capture password in the process. A replay attack is also a passive online attack. It occurs when the hacker intercepts the password and route to the authentication server and then captures and resends the authentication packets for later authentication. In this manner, the hacker doesn't have to break the password or learn the password through MITM, but rather captures the password and reissues the password authentication packets later to authenticate as the client. Active online attacks. The easiest way to gain administrator level access to a system is to guess a simple password, assuming the administrator used a simple password. Password guessing is an active online attack. It relies on the human factor involved in password creation and only work on weak passwords. When we discuss the innermost phase of system hacking, you learn the vulnerability of NetBIOS, enumeration, and null sessions. Assuming that the NetBIOS TCP/139 port is open, the most effective method of breaking into a Windows NT or Windows 2000 system is password guessing. This is done by attempting to connect to an enumerated share and trying a username and password combination. The most commonly used administrator account and password combinations are words like admin, administrator, sysadmin, or a password or a null password. A hacker may first try to connect to a default admin to connect to the hidden C drive share. Automated programs can quickly generate dictionary files, word lists, or every possible combination of letters, numbers, and special characters and then attempt to log on using those credentials. Most systems prevent this type of attack by setting a maximum number of logging in attempts on a system before the account is locked. In the following section, we will discuss how hackers can perform automated password guessing more closely, as well as countermeasures to such attacks. Performing automated password guessing. To speed up the guessing of a password, hackers use automated tools. An easy process for automating password guessing is to use the Windows shell commands based on the standard NetUse syntax. To create a simple automated password guessing script, perform the following steps. Number 1. Create a simple username and password file using Windows Notepad. Automated tools such as the dictionary generated are available to create this word list. Save the file on the C drive's credentials.txt. Pipe this file using the for command c4/f token. Type number 3. Type netuse to use the credential.txt file to attempt to log on to the target system hidden share. Defending against password guessing. Two options exist to defend against password guessing and password attacks. Both smart cards and biometric add a layer of security to the insecurity that's inherent when users create their own passwords. A user can also be authenticated and validated using biometrics. Biometrics use physical characteristics such as fingerprints, hand geometry, scans, and retinal scans as credentials to validate users. Both smart cards and biometric use two-factor authentication, which requires two forms of identification when validating a user by requiring something the user physically has and the something the user knows. Security is increased and the authentication process isn't susceptible susceptible to password attack. Offline attacks. Offline attacks are performed from a location other than the actual computer where the password are reside or were used. Offline attacks usually require physical access to the computer and copying the password file from the system onto removable media. The hacker then takes the file to another computer to perform the cracking. Several types of offline password attacks exist. Non-electronic attacks. Non-electronic or non-technical attacks are attacks that do not employ any technical knowledge. This kind of attack can include social engineering, shoot surfing, keyboard sniffing, and dumpster diving. Social engineering is the art of interacting with people either face to face or over the telephone and getting them to give out valuable information such as passwords. Social engineering relies on people's good nature and desire to help others. Many times, a help desk is the target of a social engineering attack because their job is to help people, and recovering or resetting passwords is a common function of the help desk. The best defense against social engineering attacks is security awareness training for all employees and security procedures for resetting passwords. Dumpster diving. Hackers look through the trash for information such as password, which may be written down on a piece of paper. Again, security awareness training on shredding important documents can prevent a hacker from gathering password by dumpster diving. Cracking a password. Manual password cracking involves attempting to log on with the different passwords. The hacker follows these systems. 1. Find a valid user account, such as administrator or guest. 2. Create a list of possible passwords. 3. Rank the password from high to low probability. 4. Key in each password. 5. Try again until a successful password is found. A hacker can also create a script file that tries each password in a list. This is still considered manual cracking, but it's time consuming and not usually effective. A more efficient way of cracking a password is to gain access to the password file on a system. Most system has a password for storage on a system. During the logon process, the password entered by the user is hashed using the same algorithm and then compared to the hashed password stored in the file. A hacker can attempt to gain access to the hashing algorithm stored on the server instead of trying to guess or otherwise identify the password. If the hacker is successful, they can decrypt the password stored on the server. Remember, passwords are stored in the Security Accounts Manager file on a Windows system and in a password shadow file on a Linux system.